Hi family, thanks for watching. Happy 2025. So I've never really been one for setting New Year's resolutions, or if I did, I probably immediately broke them. But I figured this year we'd do something a little bit different and kind of just go in line with what we were already going to do, which was try to contribute more to the channel. But before we get into any of that about the video, I have a very critical question that needs to be settled, a debate that needs to be settled, and I need your opinion. And that is, when is the appropriate time to be taking down your Christmas decorations? This has been a debate between my husband and I for the years that we've been together. And he's kind of the mindset that, the day after Christmas, you're pulling him down. And I used to live in England, so I'm very aware that like Boxing Day is even its own holiday. But I'm from the culture where you wait, like Christmas is just the beginning of the festivities, the 12 days of Christmas. We kind of settled on taking them down this weekend. So even though today is officially January 6th, the 12th day after Christmas, our Christmas decorations are already all taken down. So feel free to let us know in the comments below why I'm right, of course. Anyways, so I don't know how much of a New Year's resolution this will be because it's more of a continuation of what we've already been doing. So like right now, I've got the greenhouse going, and these are bulbs that I planted in the autumn so that when spring comes along and I transplant them outside, we're gonna have a really awesome bee garden. But this is our greenhouse going right now. Looks like I need to water a few things going on in here. I left this in the light by accident and I might have killed it. I'm really gutted what I did here. But the ivy that I was actually putting in the shade works good, looks good. These aren't looking too happy. They are bone dry. I need to get in here and water a bit. I've been kind of nervous to open the greenhouse up when the window is not open up here because that lets me know that it's warm enough that if I open the door, I'm not changing the temperature dramatically in here. But I haven't been watering these things enough as a result, and they're getting kind of dried out. My potato plant that was planted back in, oh, golly gee whiz, I think August, is starting to turn color. So that might be ready soon to harvest. And the lemons are feeling pretty ripe. Look how sexy those lemons are. I gotta get in here and harvest them all. More lemons than we'll know what to do with. And then my Echinacea, I think is what you call it, is just, it's never gotten bigger than this. So I don't know what I did wrong. I tried giving it a heating mat at night to keep it warm, but that doesn't seem to like it. I know it's probably getting too cold and wet now, but oh, I should probably dump some of that water out. Always learning with this stuff. So I tried an experiment here with the plastic where I put plastic over everything as kind of like a double layer of insulation and didn't see any observational changes in the temperature. But I did see new growth, so maybe I'll go back to that. About 2 years ago, we started our bee garden as a result of having our bees, and from seed, I should specify, and started them inside. Had lots of success that year with loads of different loads of flowers that we started. But then last year we got the greenhouse and started off really positive, but the heat wave killed nearly everything that I had started before it even had a chance to bloom. So I'm hoping by having started in the autumn of this year that when the spring comes around, I can plant these in the garden, and because they're already flowering, they'll give a bit of a jump start to the spring flowers, as opposed to last year where by the time they finally started flowering, it was already too hot and they all died. Another thing too that we're going to try to install this year is a shade cloth that will go a bit bigger than we had last year. So you can see our garden right now is pretty barren, and we will have to trim back this asparagus to get started for the new year. But we essentially had out here where all the plants were kind of lined up, just a small little shade cloth that seemed to save the plants that we had. So we'll try that again this year, set something up a little more permanent that will stretch from the house to the fence. So somebody actually asked this in the comments the other day. We live in a zone 9B borderline, but in the past we used to just do pre-starts that we would buy from like the local hardware store or something, usually like after Mother's Day, mostly because that's when our anniversary was, and that would be our treat to ourselves. But I actually learned later on that it's a smart thing to do them after Mother's Day because sometimes we get late frosts around this area. So basically for the last 3 years, we've been trying to do things from seed, and each year has been a massive learning curve for us. I don't know if I kept the video online, but our very first time working with one of those seed trays that come with a little plastic dome, we left them on thinking, oh, this is like an inside greenhouse, not realizing that once the plants sprout just a little bit, you're supposed to remove the dome. Otherwise, your plants get like stringy and kind of whitish. Every year, we've just been like, racking our brains how to do things better the next year. Another thing too that we kind of picked up was doing everything from grow bags. We have a massive problem with gophers, moles, voles. I'm not terribly certain exactly which species it is, but you plant anything in this garden or in the ground directly without some type of protection. Ciao, Bela. Like our 4x4 boxes have got chicken wire at the bottom of them. We bought these galvanized steel tubs, and everything is basically gopher proof. And when we put our grow bags down, we always have these metal pieces underneath them so that the gophers can't crawl up and eat everything out of our garden. Because again, that was one thing that we'd done. We'd started with like garlic and onions, and our first time trying leeks, and like out of a cartoon, you just saw the little sprouts just sloop down into the ground. We thought with the 4x4s being tall enough, they would never be able to go up that high and get everything, but they proved us wrong. So it's beautiful living out here in the country, away from kind of like all the busy city life, but definitely one of the things that you have to be aware of is everything wants to eat your food. I mean, just like you, obviously. So we're constantly kind of trying to keep on top of that. And in fact, we had no problems with deers for years. Pretty much our dog was our defense from the deers. But then last year, they just jumped in and ate everything they can get a hold of. So we tried constructing this fence that you can kind of see a little bit right here to deter them from getting in again. So we shall see going into 2025. Hi girls, are you eating the plants? I gotta water them real quick. So I always really like this time of year to kind of just plan out what I'm doing for the year. I'm super nerdy about it, and I make a calendar and assess my seeds that I have and kind of group my seeds together based on when I'm going to plant them, and then get like a list going of all the plants that I plan to plant that year, and then kind of make a map of where everybody would go, keeping in mind things like, you know, sunflowers and squashes probably shouldn't be next to each other. The celery needs constant shade. And I know everybody has their own system of approach. Look, there's still a couple of decorations that haven't gotten put back yet. But I like to use this calendar called Seed Time. They're not sponsoring us or anything like that. In fact, we don't have any sponsors. In fact, this channel's not even monetized yet. Maybe that's our real goal for the year, is getting ourselves monetized. Anyways, I like to use that calendar as a starting point for when to plant my plants. They do a great job of kind of like taking your zone into consideration and then making suggestions of when to plant things. And then what I do is I print it out and then stick it on the fridge throughout the year. I'll be making notes to myself, modifications, and at the end of the year I'll kind of look and then reassess what I want to do for the following year. So fingers crossed this year will actually be decent in us producing a garden. It'd be nice to like have an abundance that we didn't have to share. My ego was definitely ratcheted down a few degrees this last summer when everything perished in the sun. So we shall wait and see. But let us know what your New Year's resolutions are. We'll probably be posting a few pre-made videos over the next couple of weeks and keep you apprised of any updates that we have going on around the property. All right, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye for now.